ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधिताम् भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथिताम् पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्. Let us chant the verses from the second chapter. We will start from verse number 11 and chant about 10 verses. So, Shri Bhagavan Vacha Ashocyan Anvashocastvam. So please chant together with me. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Ashocyanan Vashocastvam Pragyavadanscha bhashase Gatasun agatasuncha Nanushocanti pandita Natvevaham jatu nasam Natvam neme janadhipa Nachaiva na bhavishyama Sarve vayamata param Dehinosmin yatha dehe Kaumaram yauvanam jara Tatha dehantara prapti Dhirastatra namuyyati Matra sparsha sukaunteya Shitoshna sukha dukkhada Agamapayino nitya Stanti tikshasva bharata Yam hina vyathayantyete Purusham purusharshava Samadukha sukham dhiram Somritatvaya kalpa Nasato vidyate bhavo Na bhavo vidyate satah Ubhayorapi drishtunta Stanayostattvadarshibhi Avinashitu tatvidhi Yena sarvamidam tatam Vinashamabhyayasyasya Na kaschit kartumarhati Antavanta ime deha Nityasyukta sharirinaha Anashino prameyasya Tasmad yudhyasva bharata Yaenam veti hantaram Yaschainam manyate hatam Ubhauto na vijanito Nayam hanti na hanyate. So, today we will be discussing verse number 14 of the second chapter. So, we know that when Arjuna refuses to fight, Shri Krishna tells him, you are grieving for those who are not to be grieved for. Yet you are speaking words that are fit to be uttered only by the wise people. The wise, how he defines the wise people here in this context, the wise are those who do not grieve for the departed, neither for those who have not departed, those who are living and those who have given up their bodies. Why don't they grieve? Naturally the question will arise. Because it is not that I have never existed, nor you, nor these kings. Nor is it that we shall cease to exist in the future. So when we are always existing, whether we are in the body or not, then why grieve? And last time we saw the verse, we discussed the verse number 2.13. Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tatha dehantara prapti dhirastatra namuyati. So Arjuna is grieving because he thinks that death will be the end of his relatives. People are afraid to die because they think their very existence will end. So here Shri Krishna points out that death is just a change. Change of what? Our bodies. Just like a person moves from one house to another house, he also moves from one body to another body. So there is no question of destruction at all. So what changes when we die? The changes are only in the upadhi. So upadhi we have seen last time, but again I will mention because this term has to be absolutely clear. Upadhi and adhyasa, these are the two very, very important terms in Vedanta. So that which superimposes one's qualities, Marita, we can do that later. That which superimposes one's qualities on another is called upadhi. So there is a crystal, a colorless crystal. And there is a red rose kept near the crystal. So the crystal will appear red. So what is the upadhi here? Yeah, red rose is the upadhi. Because that is superimposing its color upon the crystal. So upadhi, what is upadhi? That which appears to qualify or limit something. So the crystal which was colorless, it is appearing red. So it has become limited, no? When you become red, you are not blue, you are not green, you are only red. So that is called a limiting adjunct. But the funny thing is, although upadhi seems to change that object's nature, but actually nothing has changed. Crystal is colorless only. When the upadhi goes, crystal will be as it is. So we have to remember all these. All names and forms are upadhis upon the Atman. So when we die, what happens? Form changes. We may be thin in one body, then we may become fat in another body. And the name changes. Ram becomes Shyam or something like that. But the person inside, he remains same. Suppose he was a bad person in the previous birth, he will continue to be bad for some time at least. If he was a good person, most probably he will continue to be good. Because the same impressions are carried on from body to body. Otherwise, how do we see geniuses from very young age? So this is what Shri Krishna said in the last verse. Now today's verse 2.14. So again, I'm afraid today's discussion will be quite headache giving. It's quite difficult to understand, and through and through it is very serious. So please repeat after me the verse number 14. As usual, I'll chant by quarter of a verse, then again like that. So 2.14 goes like this. Matra sparshastu kaunteya
Matra sparshastu kaunteya
Shitoshna sukha dukkada
Shitoshna sukha dukkada
Agamapayino nitya
Agamapayino nitya
Tam titikshasva bharata.
Tantikshasva bharata.
So you must have noticed that in the main verse it is written Agamapayino nityas. Sa is there. But I chanted Ha, nitya. Why? Because when we break up the sandhi, actually visarga, the two dots, have become sa when you join it. So this is the verse. Now these are the words here. Matra, sparsha, tu, kaunteya, shita, ushna, sukha, dukkha, da, agam, apayina, anitya. Actually it is anitya. Sandhi it becomes, nitya like this. Tam, titikshasva, bharata. These are the words. So we will follow the same pattern. First we will see the basic meaning of the words, then go into detail of every word. What are matra? Matra are those, by definition, by which objects are measured. Objects are measured. Here what do they stand for? Here they stand for our organs of knowledge. Ears, eyes, nose, etc., etc. So why are the organs of... Now there is a very nice definitions of all this. We will not go into, because in Sanskrit there are very nice definitions. But we will keep it a little simpler relatively. So when we see something, why are organs said to be measuring instrument? Simple. When we see something, when we see a chair, so people will ask, oh, how big is the chair? Then what will he say? Oh, maybe it is about 3 feet high. So what are we doing? Are we not measuring? So same with the nose. Suppose we smell something. How was it? Good, bad, indifferent. So we are measuring, in a sense. So that is why matras stand for the organs. Now how do we gain knowledge? We gain knowledge when these organs come into contact with the objects. So you shut your eyes. Then somebody asks you, is there a chair in front of you? You will say, how silly. I cannot even see what is in front of me. So when we are seeing what is happening, our eyes are coming in contact with a chair or any other object. That is producing knowledge. So here it is called sparsha. Sparsha, touch. So coming in contact. So just in passing, I will tell you that modern science says that light from the chair goes to your eyes. Actually, it is not true. Light from our eyes goes to the chair. Light from us goes to the moon. And this can be easily proved. So anyway, we will, according to Vedanta, this is the thing. Anyway, so matra sparsha, what does it mean? Matra sparsha means sense organs coming in contact with the objects, without which there is no possible knowledge we can gain, whether a substance is hard or not. So I will touch it, no. It has to come in contact. Then I will know hard or soft. So whether something is present is known only when it comes in contact with the corresponding organ. Seeing eyes, smelling nose, hearing, so like that. So tu, after that the word tu is there. So tu is what is called in Sanskrit a avyaya. Avyaya means, last time I told, that which does not change. Vyaya means change, decay. Avyaya means the words which do not change at all. In Sanskrit, almost every word changes when it is used in sentences. But some are there, thank God, they don't change. So tu is one of them. So tu means but. Now why but here? Because in the previous verse, which we have just now again seen, Shri Krishna mentions what? He says, we are not destroyed by death because we are eternal. But now he is mentioning that which is not eternal. So he is mentioning something which is opposite of that. That is why but. When we say no, this is hard, but other one is soft. Means what? They are different. So in the last verse, Shri Krishna described something which does not change even when it dies, when the body dies. Now he is mentioning something which is completely opposite. Means something which is always changing. So what is changing? Matra sparsha. Both are changing. Objects are changing. You see one thing one moment, see another thing one moment, another moment. Their contact is changing. When the contact is changing, the sensation which the object gives, that is also changing. So, when these objects come in contact with our sense organs, what happens? We gain knowledge, but other than gaining knowledge, there is also a reaction in the mind. What is that reaction? Next words, the words after that mentioned. Daha means dadati, means gives. They give us what? Sensations of shita, cold, ushna, heat, sukha, happiness, dukkha, misery. So, shitam ushnam cha sukham dukkham cha dadati sa shitoshna sukha dukkhada. Dadati means gives. That which gives this sensation is shitoshna sukha dukkhada. So here they denote all kinds of dualities. It is just mentioned as an example. Hard, soft, beautiful, ugly, all these are dualities. So from our sense organs we get these reactions when we come in touch with anything. So these come. Sukha, dukkha will come, heat and cold will come. Now what is their nature? That is mentioned after that. They are agama apaya. So when it is joined, agama payina, that which comes and goes, which has a beginning and end. And therefore, if they are coming and going, what does it mean? Next word, anitya. Nitya means eternal. Anitya means comes and goes. So they come and go, Arjuna. That is what Sri Krishna is telling. Tan, them, titikshasva. Titikshasva means forbear. Bharata. So this is one verse, very rare verse in which Arjuna is addressed by two names. Kaunteya also, Bharata also. So Kaunteya means son of Kunti. Bharata, the foremost among the Bharat dynasty. So Krishna is indicating that on both sides, your lineage is excellent. On side of your mother as well as on your father. So why should you fall into this attachment? Reminding him of his nature. So what is the translation of the whole verse then? Translation will be, but Arjuna, the contact of the organs with objects, they are producers of happiness and sorrow, heat and cold. And Arjuna, they are transient. They come and go. They have a beginning and end. So, bear them. This is the simple translation. Endure them. Now, a question arises that verses number 11 and 13, which we have chanted today, that is Ashochanam Vachosastvam Natvevaham and Dehinosmin. So all these, the subject matter of those verses are the analysis between the Deha and the Dehi, between the body and one who lives in the body. Now suddenly, how does this verse come in the middle? What is the connection? Sense, matra sparsha, sense contact. So apparently there is no connection. Suddenly, why is it? It has been brought up. In the middle, he was discussing body and one who resides in the body. Now he is discussing contact with the organs. What is the connection? So the answer is this. Before Krishna has said, there never was a time when I did not exist. There never was a time when you did not exist. So Krishna also places himself in the same line as embodied souls. So here he introduces the idea of matra sparsha, object and sense organ contact, to demonstrate that the body and the related entities, all of these are impermanent. So here also actually he is asking Arjuna to discriminate, but in another way. So all these contacts, all these objects are impermanent, perishable, subject to constant change. So although the self is known from the scriptures to be eternal, therefore not subject to sorrow or delusion arising from birth and destruction, one might still suspect that sorrow and delusion could arise in some other way. We will explain this still further. This is the introduction given by Anandagiri. So these names you have to be familiar with. The great Shankaracharya has written the masterly commentary, and upon that commentary of Shankaracharya, Anandagiri has also written a commentary upon that. So he gives the introduction like this, that why is this verse introduced? Because we know Arjuna has realized that the self, again and again Sri Krishna has told, the self is not touched by anything. Arjuna seems to say, okay, I agree with you, Krishna. My self, real self is untouched by sorrow, delusion, anything in the world. But I have not realized the self. So I am still subject to sorrow. So we can think of it in this way. After hearing the last verse, Dehinosmin yatha deha, etc., etc., a question may have arisen in Arjuna's mind. What question? It is true that the self is eternal, the body is transient. So, Krishna, you have told, I should not grieve over the death of my relatives. I agree. But in the course of my life, I will continue to come in touch with those things which will give me joy. I will continue to come in touch with those things which will give me sorrow. If I shoot Bhishma and all other revered teachers, Drona, their bodies will be wounded. They will shed blood. blood will flow, they will experience pain. Seeing them suffering, I too will feel sorrow. So grieving over death may not be appropriate. Agreed. But what about the immediate pain? We will not die. All of us will not die immediately, no? So till we, even if suppose death is not to be grieved for, before death, what will happen? We will continue to experience suffering. Little joy, so much suffering. What remedy is there for that? That suffering is tangible because I have not realized the soul right now. For people who have realized, okay. So this is the hypothetical question which arose in Arjuna's mind. And God knows everything. So although Arjuna did not speak, he did not actually question, but Krishna knew that this is what is going on in his mind. So, the word tu, but, Shri Krishna is telling what? Arjuna, I understand what you are thinking. And now, I will state the answer to your unasked question, that how do you deal with this joy and sorrow which will continue to experience as long as you are in the body, and you will be in the body till you attain liberation. So some method has to be given. This whole verse is the answer to this. So matra, we have seen matra means something which measures. It also means a part, a fragment. In measurement, the word matra is used to indicate a certain quantity. Those who know Hindi, Bangla, they know. Itni matra mein do. So, matra refers to change or transformation. In space, it refers to magnitude. Kitni matra mein bada hai, how much bigger it is. A thing changes in time, spreads out in space. It's like that. Thus, the essential meaning of matra is limitation, being broken into pieces. The word cannot be used for something which is infinite. Akash kitni matra mein hai? This makes no sense because it is relatively infinite. So, matra limited, why it is used? Because the senses, the objects are all limited. The contact or conjunction of the mind with and the senses with the respective objects, that will also come and go. So everything is limited. Next is Shita Ushna Sukha Dukkhada. So we have seen what does this contact lead to. It leads to Shita Ushna, heat and cold, Sukha Dukkha, happiness and misery. So here see there are two groups. Shita Ushna, one group. Heat and Sukha Dukkha, another group. Now what is common between them? Shita Ushna, heat and cold, happiness and misery. What is common between them? The common thing is the relationship between the senses and the objects give rise to both. They also give rise to heat and cold. They also give rise to pleasure and pain. So by taking heat and cold as examples, one may understand the nature of all sense objects. Just as heat and cold vary, so do all external objects. And it is only through the gross body that we experience heat, cold, hardness, softness, anything. So naturally we grow from the gross to the subtle. That is why Shita Ushna is mentioned first. And subtler than that is pleasure and pain. So pleasure and pain, when we go, we are moving from the gross body to the mind. Pleasure and pain are experienced by the mind. Mind perceives the internal states. For these reasons, sometimes the mind is also referred to as a sense organ. So, pleasure and pain, we think the objects are giving us. Go to have an ice cream, why? Because we think ice cream pleasure is there inside. And we are getting that pleasure from the ice cream. But actually it is not true, which you will see. So, pleasure and pain do not arise from the objects themselves. Experience of heat and cold depends on the senses and their objects. But the experience of pleasure, and now we come to the difference between them. The experience of pleasure and pain depends on the mind, not on the objects. So first, heat and cold. Now see, heat and cold are relative. What one person feels to be cold, another person may feel to be warm. Not only that, sometimes the same person may feel the same thing to be hot or to be cold. How? Very simple example. Take 3 glasses. Left side, one is ice cold water. The right side, it is warm water. And the middle one is just ordinary water. So cold, ordinary and hot. Now put 2 fingers, one in the cold one in the hot one. Take both out. Put them in the middle one. The one in which you have the finger in which you put in the cold water, that will feel warmer. The one which you put in the hot water, when you put in ordinary water, you will feel coolness. So the same glass, same water, 2 fingers are getting different sensations. Why? Because this is relative. Relative to the cool temperature, which the first finger experienced, that is warm. Relative to the hot temperature which the right finger experienced, that is cold. So heat and cold has no fixed rule. We cannot say whether a glass of water is hot or cold unless you compare it with something. Hot and cold relative to what? So all these, anything you see which is for sale, suppose you say cleaning. I saw that the tire, what is called, cleaner, 3x. 3x. 3x is nonsense. It has no meaning. 3x means 3 into what? Unless he tells you that compared to this detergent, this has 3x power. 3x is absolutely nonsense. And they are writing this randomly, and we are also. Just imagine the word. So, heat and cold are relative. But pleasure and pain are not relative in that sense. Why? Pleasure is always agreeable. By the way, its very definition is that sukha. Sukha is sukha for you also, for me also. Dukkha is dukkha for you also, for me also. I am not talking about an incident, mind you. Incident may give you pleasure, may give me pain. I am not talking about that. Here we are talking about pleasure itself. By its very definition, sukha is what gives you pleasure also, gives me pleasure also. Dukkha is what makes you suffer also, makes me suffer also. So pleasure and pain have a single underlying nature for everybody in the world. What? Agreeableness and disagreeableness. So even in the mind, pleasure and pain always arise in relation to some object, either external or internal. External objects we know. Then when we think of something, I had gone this, I had eaten this and this, very nice. So that internal object which was already is a sanskara, impression, that is giving us. So to the mind generates feelings of favor and disfavor only in connection with some object, either external or internal. Without object there can be nothing. So that is why two groups have been made. Shita Ushna is in one group, cold and hot. And within that fall everything, hard, soft, very nice odor, bad odor, everything, all dualities fall under that, which we can experience with the gross body. Loud sound, dim, and separate to that is relative. What seems hard to me seems soft to you. But pleasure and pain are not relative in that sense. Agreeableness is connected with your pleasure also. Agreeableness is a characteristic of my pleasure also. This way we have to understand. That is why two groups are there. So now see what happens when our senses interact with the objects of the world, then appears in the mind the sensation of pleasure and pain. That is when we obtain an object, a person, meet a person, we encounter a situation, we go to an event. So if they turn out to be what we want, we experience pleasure. And when we encounter something which is not according to our wishes, we experience pain. So here, agreeableness and disagreeableness may be said to be the causes. Agreeable cause, effect, happiness. Disagreeable cause, effect, misery. So here in this way you see agreeableness and disagreeableness are the causes which leads to pleasure and pain. And we think that the external objects are giving us pleasure or pain. That is absolutely false. It is the mind which forms a relation with them and projects upon them favorable or unfavorable. If something had the power to give pleasure, it would give pleasure to everybody in the universe and in the same measure. That does not happen. You like to eat something, I don't like to eat that thing. So what are we doing? Our mind is projecting. If I don't like, I project, no, this is disagreeable. Somebody else likes it, same thing. You project, this is agreeable. So because of this mental association, the objects seem to be givers of pleasure and pain. Otherwise, same thing cannot produce happiness in one person, misery in another person. Impossible. Now these sense objects never are fixed or uniform. At one time they seem painful, at another time pleasurable. See, praise and blame. Somebody praises me, somebody blames me. Now what are those actually? When somebody says something, what are those? They are just sound. They are just sound waves. But when the ear receives them, praise will bring, oh, very nice person. If I am being blamed, oh, this rascal is blaming me. So just sound waves, they are creating two entirely different reactions. Softness and hardness, they are only modes of touch. But when the skin perceives them, they become cause of pleasure and pain. A form may be frightening or beautiful, but they are just forms. So it is only when the eye apprehends them that we experience bad, beautiful and ugly. We say it is beautiful, we say it is ugly. So this is the thing. And it is now before coming to their agama paina, they are coming and going. And it is through the enjoyment of these objects, we should remember, that we get entangled. That is why Shri Krishna is telling Arjuna what we will see. So when we are governed by these experiences, heat and cold, pleasure and pain, then we become entangled in those experiences. We will see how. So now Krishna has told Arjuna, see Arjuna, the contact of the senses produces reaction with the objects when it comes in contact. Two groups, Shita Ushna, all dualities with the gross body experienced, Sukha Dukkha experienced by the mind. So now the next question is, what is the nature of these objects and what are the nature of the sensations produced? That is a natural question which arises. Now the answer is given. What? They are agama paina, means they come and go. Agama, come, coming. Birth is an agama, coming, arrival. Death is an apaya, departure. Union is an agama, separation is apaya. So agama means something which comes to us. Apaya means something which goes away. So when you are earning money, it is agama. Unfortunately, when it goes away, it is apaya. So everything, all the objects come and go. Naturally, their contact with the senses will also come and go. If there is no object at all, with what you will come in contact? So now it is winter, spring will come, then summer will come, and so on. Nothing stays. It's said in poetic language, the fruit that ripens must fall, the fire that burns must fade. Then one person says, those who are behind bars or should be behind bars, they are occupying seats of power. So such is the rule of the world. Its status, respect, riches, and also suffering, also calamity, also poverty, never stay. That which does not stay is completely unsubstantial. Countless rich people have become poor, countless poor now live in large houses. So in India, all you have to do is win an election. And other countries also, I'm sure. So just a few days ago I was seeing that they saw the assets. And some people who have won a seat, within few years they gave the data, their assets have increased by 10 times. So you see how everything changes. So all these are unsubstantial. They come and go. But those people never think, those who are gaining riches in this way, that won't stay. Not only that, if you have got it by unfair means, you'll have to pay for it. So this is collectively, all these things come and go. If you look at it individually, with respect to one person, see, we never think about these things. The pleasure and pain we experience in the waking state, don't remain in the dream state. What was felt in the dream does not remain in the waking state. In deep sleep, neither joy nor sorrows of waking and dream remain. The heat and cold of the waking state don't remain in the dream, and the dream's experiences don't exist in the waking state. So these states keep shifting, replacing one another. A very rich person in the dream, he may see himself as a beggar. A beggar dreams in a dream that he has become a very rich person. So all these things are just for few moments. These experiences are just for a few moments. And the great disease, which 99% of the humanities are diseased by this thought, that wealth and happiness, they think to be synonymous. Wealth will mean happiness. But it is not that, the case is not that. Wealth stays in the bank or safe. Happiness resides in the heart. If we just open our eyes and go around, many wealthy people will find that they are deeply unhappy. So they say that wealth causes misery in all the three states. First, when you earn it, you have to work for it. Till you have it, you are scared. It might be stolen, somebody might take it. And when it goes, of course, unbearable suffering. So, arthanam arjane dukkham. There is suffering in earning wealth, suffering when it goes away. And if it stays, there is a worry of protecting it. So, the belief that worldly objects and enjoyments contain real happiness is absolutely false. And if we keep on clinging to a false notion, the result can only be one: suffering. Today or tomorrow. Now, this is the nature of the objects and the sensations. When the nature has been described, how should we deal with them? How should we deal with the reactions? You cannot stop the contact of the senses with the objects. Till we are alive, we will come in contact with good things, bad things, what we call good or bad. So how to deal with them? Now Arjuna, this is the main point. So Arjuna, what we have seen, Arjuna's mind, what was going on? That death I may not grieve for, the relatives. But if I hurt them, I will see them suffering. How do I deal with that? So the answer is given here. Titikshasva. Titiksha we know, forbearance. Swa. Now a little, as usual, a little grammar just to give you a background. So titikshasva, titiksha, this word means to endure. Why is swa added here? Swa is what is called in grammar, it is a lakar. We will see what is lakar. There are 10 types of lakars. Lakars are applied to verbs. So here when swa is added, what is the meaning? Endure becomes you must endure. You must do it. So what are the lakars? The lakars are verb forms. Verb tense or mood. They are called lakars. And why this name has been given to them? Like tense moods we know, present tense, future tense, past tense, past participle, all these things are there. So why are they called lakars in Sanskrit? Because their forms, all of them nearly, begin with la. That's why, simple reason. Except two, Ashirlinga and Vidhilinga. These are verb forms which begin with a and V. But otherwise all begin with lakar. Lat, lot, lung, all these things. So every verb in Sanskrit, every dhatu means verb, is understood to have 10 lakars, each expressing a different mood. Lat, present tense. Like that, all the lakars are there. Future tense, past tense, all these things. So these 10 lakars apply to all verbs. But some lakars are not used so much, not used commonly, but total there are there. So titikshasva belongs to the lakar which is called lot. Lot means you should, you have to do that. That is why. So, why do you have to do that? Because these passing experiences of pleasure and pain, they are momentary. So, bear them without any kind of attachment or aversion. Do not form friendship or enmity with them. They will come and go. So, let them pass. Just watch them. They are coming and going. This is called titiksha. Titiksha means, it comes from the root tij. Tij means forgiveness. Don't have a severe reaction to that. Any kind of experience. Bear with equanimity. Coming, you are seeing. Coming and going. So examples given are wonderful by our saints and sages. Imagine you are standing at a roadside. A beggar walks by. You don't chase him away. A wealthy man passes by. You don't fall at his feet unless you want something from him. Along that road, the unattractive passes, the beautiful passes. You remain neutral. You go your own way. These come and go. So practically speaking, what does it mean here? It means don't jump around when the sensation is pleasurable. Don't be down in the dumps when the sensation is unpleasurable. Don't feel depressed in the winter of Vancouver, although it is difficult. Don't feel elated when the sunshine will come. Because neither winter nor sunshine will last. So suppose Arjuna questions, what happens if I don't forbear? What will happen? What is the negative part in that? Why are you telling me to endure only? Because if we don't, then we will always be under the control of these sensations. These sensations are controlling us. Means our sense organs are controlling us. Currently we are completely, totally slaves of this. 100%. The sensations we cannot stop. But what we can stop is the reaction to the sensations. When that we can stop, we become masters. These are bound to occur. Our attitude should be, let them occur. Let them come and go. I will neither be attached to what is good, nor will I be an enemy of what is bad. I will go on my own way without paying attention to these. Then only we can achieve something. Whatever you want to in life. Suppose a student is studying from the nearby room, sound of television is coming, some movie is being. So if he goes there at the slightest opportunity, how will he study? So we can relate this in a similar manner. For this reason, Sri Krishna says, just endure them. And the best kind of endurance is what? When one actually realizes that neither happiness and misery can touch my real nature. But that is the final goal. Once you have realized it, the goal is reached. So the thing is what? People say, yeah, Gita is a very excellent, they sing so much of praises. But these teachings are not meant for ordinary people. Why? Currently, to get these pleasurable sensations is the only aim of our life. That is what we are living for. So when you are actively seeking those pleasant sensations, hoping that one fine day only the pleasant will remain and not the opposite one, that is the goal, which is impossible. So till you are actively seeking something, how can you be unattached? How can you be calm? It is impossible. Absolutely impossible. Beyond. Don't even think about it. So spend the whole day, suppose you are invited to a party, spend the whole day, become excited at the thought of the party in the evening. How can you be unattached? Then if party is over, start planning for the next party. That is our life. Party means what? Here pleasurable sensation. So we go on in this way, whole life. And without our knowing, slowly, we become slaves to these sensations. And one day they will go, they will stop. Then what will happen? Suffering. So, what is being taught in this verse? That realizing these pleasurable sensations to be of a few moments only, knowing that they come and go, be calm, and never actively seek them. We are running after them. Huge, big desires we have. Husbands, wives, children, grandchildren, birthday parties, this, that. So where does the question arise of being unattached? Impossible. For ordinary people like us, it is absolutely impossible. Only when we have reached a very high stage, when we don't actively seek these things which come and go, which are of no value, then and then only we can start practicing this. No chance of that before. And then when we start practicing, then only the mind can turn towards God. Otherwise, how can it turn? You're running here to eat something today, you're running here to attend a party tomorrow, day after tomorrow you hold a party in your home. But there is no question of any spiritual life. You can just forget about it. So this has to be understood. Who can see this self? Who can lead a spiritual life? The Upanishads say, Tam Atmastham Ye Anupashyanti Dhira. Atman, that Atman, Tam. Anupashyanti, those who can realize. Who are those? They are Dhira. Dhira means the wise. Those who are steady. Those whose minds are composed. Only they can see. Of course, seeing is a long way off. Only they can try to lead a spiritual life. Those who perceive the Supreme Self abiding within their own being and being in all others, they are Dhira. They are the people who remain inwardly steady, who keep their minds in order. Those who are always wandering restlessly behind these desires, they are slaves. No question of seeing the self. So, we think currently if the world of the senses is given up, we can never be happy. Now see brilliant reflection by Akhandanandji. During deep sleep, Sushupti, without any enjoyment, without any action, without any object, without even functioning of the mind, we are peaceful, we are happy. What is present there? Nothing of the external world. If in that state no sense organs are present, why we experience happiness? Why can we not experience the same happiness while we are awake without the sense organs? If this pleasant sensation, without these pleasant sensations, if we could not be happy, then we would have experienced intense suffering in Sushupti. There is no question of any contact there with anything. But we are very happy there. The problem arises when we awake. So a great sage once told an aspirant, in the waking state, meditate upon deep sleep. This means what? In deep sleep, reflect. By what enjoyment do we become happy? By what action? By the accumulation of what dollars? Through which sense organ? Through which emotion? There is no emotion there, no sense organ there, no enjoyment there, no objects. What will you enjoy? Yet we are happy. How is this possible? Because at that time we abide as peace itself, as happiness itself. Why then can we not remain in that blissful nature while we are awake without any external support? In deep sleep, there is no son, no daughter, no food, no wife, no bank balance. Still we are happy. So, the scriptures say, Yo jagarti sushuptistho yasya jagrad na vidyate bodho nirvasano yasya sa jivan mukta uchyate. Who is a jivan mukta? That is a highest realization. But we have to understand this so that we can practice it. Like that's why it is told. So he is one who is awake in the external world, but as if he abides in the state of deep sleep, deep calmness. He has no identification with the body, does not run around when something pleasurable to the body is given. And his consciousness is free from desires. Just as in the sky, there may be storm, rain, cold, heat. The sky is unperturbed. These come and go. So too, even though attraction, aversion, fear and other experiences may arise in the life of such a person, they leave no residue, no impression in the heart. And that is the highest state. So only the dhira, dhira means one who endures. In the next verse, we will find this word. That's why I am mentioning the word dhira. Next verse you will see Yamina Vyatayante Purusham Purushajava Samadukha Sukham Dhiram. That is why the word dhira is emphasized here. So only one who stops running after all these things, knowing them to be absolutely worthless. Not only they are worthless, they are causes of suffering. Only one who has realized this, one who has stopped running after them, they can practice this verse. Start practicing this. That they will try to remain calm under all circumstances. Good is come, they will keep watching. No, they know it will go away. Bad has come, they will keep watching. No, it will go. And keep their mind only in one direction. That which never comes and never goes. That only is worthwhile. Everything is absolutely unsubstantial. So this in short is the meaning of this verse. Short because actually we can go into still more detail. Wonderful Sanskrit explanations are there. But then your headache will cross all limit. So we can stop here today. Next time we will go to the next verse. Oh.